About 6 months ago, I made this video doing the best 50 rappers, and it was completely based on like a Twitter poll where it was basically a fan vote, and it was basically most popular rapper because Blackpink was in charge. By the way, I'm holding my mic for once, so this is different for me. Anyways, because best is different than favorite, you know, be more objective about best rather than just who I enjoy listening to. I thought I'd revisit the subject and see where the idol rappers have changed since I made that video back in June of last year, and do like an update for January 2021, starting the year off like that, yeah. So that's what this video is. We can dive into this. I'm gonna do top 10 today. Let me know if you want a top 50 like I did in the summer, but that was like for a different list. That wasn't like my choice of rappers on there. And yeah, I'm gonna try to keep this update about every 6 months based on new releases and who's not releasing and what happens in those 6 months, you know. With that being said, let's dive into this because I can't think of anything else for this intro other than you should subscribe so you can stay up to date with all stuff rap in Korean. Yeah. Okay, let's get into this. Let's do some honorable mentions real quick. Let's start off with my 5 honorable mentions, like 11 through 15. So 15, we have Moonbyul of Mamamoo. I went over her songs back in the fall for my 8 fastest raps video that I did right there. She has a lot of cool raps that I didn't know about, and it kind of bumped her up a little bit. She came up 2 spots when I had her on the list back in June. So yeah, Moonbyul number 15. Number 14, we have Yezi. She wasn't even ranked by that list. That one of the rappers I thought should be on this list is Yezi, and they didn't even have her on there. So that's how I knew the list was bogus. But she is definitely on. She's 14. She just did a few new releases, especially the newest one that just came out, Raining All Night, I think it's called, something like that. Yezi is great. Go check her out if you haven't. She's one of the best female rappers in K-pop. I guarantee you, one of the best idol rappers. Number 13 is Mark of NCT. He did go down 1 spot, not because I hate Mark, not because I think he did anything wrong. It's just I needed to push other people up, and I just need to be sure you know. Yes, Misfit was amazing. I know, I love NCT's Misfit. It was a great song, great rap song by NCT, completely needed, because they haven't had like a rap cypher song kind of, but I'm still waiting for like a full solo mixtape from Mark, like an actual like solo. Number 12, we have Chaengyeon of Monsta X. Again, just like Mark, he moved down 1 spot, but that's just because I need to make room in the top 10 for new people, and he moved down 1 spot. And then number 11, we have G-Dragon, one of the legends of K-pop rap. He's moved down 2 spots because I needed to put someone else in the top 10, and yeah, once G-Dragon has a solo, of course, I'm sure he's going to go back up in the top 10 now that he's back from the army and everything. I don't like my hair right now. I'm going to put on a hat. Anyways, once G-Dragon has that solo comeback that everyone's talking about, I'm sure he's going to go back up in the top 10 because he's one of the legends of K-pop rapping and definitely deserves the top 10. It's just he hasn't released anything new in a good 3 years. But with that said, let's get into the top 10 now. I got honorable mentions out of the way. So number 10, we have Soyeon of Idol. She is hands down the best female rapper in K-pop. Female idol rapper in K-pop, let me clarify. She has everything. One of the best deliveries of a female rapper, one of the best flows. She still writes and produces a bunch of the music for her group, so honestly, she easily in the top 10 for me. One of the key things that stood out from the last time I made this list is I'm the Trend. She did one of her best raps in that song if you haven't heard it. I'm not going to do a sneak peek here because I don't want to get copyrighted, but you could go check out that song. I highly recommend it if you want to hear Soyeon go off rapping. I think that's one of her best raps, along with like Dala 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 and a few other ones, but hell to the yes. Soyeon's I'm the Trend is what kept her in the top 10, even though she went down 2 spots, but that's just because I had someone come into the top 10 who totally deserves it, and someone who wasn't even on the list last year, and that's why only reason she fell 2 spots. But let's move on to number 9. We have RM of BTS, and this is a similar story as Soyeon. The only reason he went down is because, 1, I needed to move other people in, but then 2, RM hasn't really done anything recently to like keep himself up in like the top 5 area. I did have him at number 6 in the summer, but again, it's just like with BTS's last comeback, which was Dynamite and that mini album and everything. I know Yoongi went off, but I didn't really hear too much from RM. He's still a top 10 K-pop rapper, hands down. I would never argue that he's not. But I need to hear more from him where he just completely goes off and shows me like, yo, Matt, what the fuck are you doing? Put me at number 1, you piece of shit YouTuber that shouldn't be making videos. Oh, why am I doing this? Number 8, I have Jisung or Han of Stray Kids. Whew, I might get flamed for this because I don't have him up higher, but last time I did this, I had him at number 4, and I moved him down quite a bit, even though he released one of his best raps ever with I Got This. I genuinely think that's one of his best raps ever, but I just need to make room. It's really difficult trying to move other people up and then move other people down who did nothing wrong when you move them down. But yeah, Han released one of his best ever verses of I Got This. If you haven't seen that, I highly recommend going and checking this out too. It's such a good verse by Han. He did so many cool things in there. I did make a video going over that if you want to go check that out. Stray Kids rapping is just amazing in general, but specifically Han has such great flow and technique. It's insane. And whew, if you aren't a fan of him, I don't know what you're listening to. Number 7, we have Jooheon or Joohoney. I like calling him Jooheon, I'm sorry, of Monsta X. I like using his actual name instead of this newer stage name. Sumi, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, Jooheon, he released a mixtape since I did that last thing. And while I haven't moved him up or down, he stayed exactly the same place. That mixtape is what's there. And the reason it didn't get any higher is because the thing that impressed me most on that mixtape were his vocals and songwriting. It wasn't necessarily his rapping, even though songwriting has a little bit to do with rapping, but still, like, those vocals just went off. And I'm such a huge fanboy of like songs like Smokey and Dark and Cloudy, where the vocals just shine. That was my favorite part of that mixtape, and that definitely kept him in the same place because I could move him down after that amazing release in the fall. Number 6, we have Changbin of Stray Kids. If you know me, I'm like the Changbin fanboy. If this was a favorites list, he would be number 1 for me, but it's not. It's a best list. But anyways, the reason he's 6 is because Show Me the Money. The Show Me the Money 9, the song choice where he did Scene Stealers, it really showed off that like he still has a little bit ways to go. His inexperience and everything is still there. Like, he is relatively a new rapper on the scene, right? And it just reminded me that, like, yeah, I put him at number 3 last time. That might have been a little bit too high. That might have been some bias coming out there. I genuinely thought he was number 3, but then Show Me the Money 9, I'm like, okay. But then Changbin released this song called Cypher at the same time that he got eliminated in Show Me the Money. And I'm like, why didn't you do that in Show Me the Money? That shit was fire. I don't know. He had like 4 different genres in one song. It was crazy. And, you know, everyone has flaws, and I still think he has potential to be number 1 one day in a few years. He's the best young rapper. I don't think anyone above him is younger than him. So anyways, let's move on to number 5, since this video is kind of getting too long now. We have Ravi of VIXX. He is someone who I didn't rank last time because they weren't on the list that I reordered, and I thought he definitely should be. Go to Ravi's discography. First off, he's got a shitload of songs. He loves making music, and I love seeing that from an artist. Like, sure, it's like the whole quality over quantity type of thing, but like, he's got quality and quantity, you know? And I just love how he just continues to make music, like multiple albums a year, and I just love it. And the features he gets on there, he got like Kundi Panda on a song, he's gotten Basic on songs, he's gotten like Microdot and a bunch of K-hip-hop rappers, as well as some K-pop rappers too. It's crazy. He literally works with everyone. It just shows how respected he is, like, to collab with in the K-hip-hop scene as well. And I don't know, I just think his hooks are so fucking catchy. His verses are always consistently good. Like, he's one of the best sing rappers K-pop. If you're not a fan of Ravi, specifically his solos, please go check him out. Number 4, we have Bobby of iKON. He's jumped up, flipping 2 spots, actually. I thought it was a lot more. But Bobby moved up into the top 5 for me because of this album that came out this week. He went off. I wasn't a huge fan of his title track. I still haven't seen the music video. I just listened to it. I feel like that's better to actually judge a song, just hear just the audio instead of being influenced by the video as well. But I think the rest of his album showed off his amazing, like, oh my god, the rest of the songs on the album, mixed chill, some aggressive verses, some really chill verses that I don't hear from Bobby too much, I thought were so good. You get some layering parts, some sing rapping too. You had so many different styles on that album. I'm so in love with a bunch of those songs on that album. Maybe that'll be a video on its own. I don't know. But yeah, Bobby, go check out that album if you haven't. It came out this week. Ooh, that was a good album. Number 3, we have the biggest jump that I'm going to talk about. And this is Minnow of Winter. For some reason, when I ranked him in June, I had him really low at 13. And that's just because whenever I thought about Minnow, it was just the Winter verses and then I'm Him and the Bobby and Minnow collabs and everything. But for the first time, I listened to a Minnow mixtape, a full album by Minnow, and there's so many quality songs on there. He went off in the verses, he went off in the hooks. He literally jumped up in my, like, view of being a good rapper just in general, that album did so much for me. He had so many quality songs on there that I'd never really expected from him before. I don't know. I know everyone said he's a good rapper, and it's not that I didn't agree with them. I still had him at 13th of all time, you know? Like, that's still high praise, but it wasn't like a, holy shit, I think he's a top 5 rapper. But that solo album that came out in September, I think, top 5 rapper. Top 3 rapper. I have him at number 3 for a reason. He's a top 3 rapper in K-pop as of January of 2021. I don't know what's going to happen in 6 months. But right now, I genuinely think he's a top 3 rapper. Number 2 and number 1 haven't changed from the summer when I did it. So if you watched it back then, you know who they are. Number 2 is Yoongi of BTS. He gets to stay at number 2 without being brought down by anything, just because since this last video, Yoongi released his verse in Disease off of the new BTS album. Such a good verse. I analyzed that and like did a little like review of like what he did rhyme scheme wise and flow wise and everything. You can go check that out and everything, but quality Yoongi versus, while he might not be my favorite rapper in K-pop, I can 100% respect him as he's definitely number 2. You could argue he's number 1. I would listen to an argument that says he's number 1. I would not complain. The rapper I have as number 1 and the best rapper in K-pop of January 2021 is Zico of Block B. I'm pretty sure most people can see this coming. I genuinely think he's the best in K-pop. He is the best in K-pop. There's nothing to say about it. If you can give me a clear reason why he's not the best other than someone else is good, I don't think you can. That sentence made no sense. But I don't think there is a reason where you can't say Zico doesn't deserve number 1 because of this. Unless you're doing it because this rapper exists and they're above him. Like, you can't bring down anything in Zico's rap. You can't point out any rap that he's done, for the most part, that would be like, I don't know. And then since the past 6 months, the most notable verse is the one that came out most recently, I think, which is on his Epic High feature with CL and Epic High, of course. And such a good verse on there too. I think that song is just perfect. I'm not a huge fan of CL, but I think her hook in there is amazing. Zico's verse in there is amazing. Everyone of Epic High did a really good job. That entire album's so good. It's one of my favorite Epic High albums, 100%. But this isn't about Epic High. It's about Zico. And hell yes, if you're not a fan of Zico, what is wrong with you? At least respect him. You should at least respect him. Be like, I know a few songs from Zico, and I can see why people think he's the best rapper. Anyways, those are the top 10 best K-pop idol rappers right now as of January of 2021. Hopefully you can see where I'm coming from and can kind of agree. Hopefully. I don't know. I'm kind of struggling with making content because I want to make content, but my editing skills are holding. That's a different video. I just talked to that about with my subscribers. If you're still watching and haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscriber button so you can get to 100,000. I know I'm being like a basic ass YouTuber right now, but I'd really appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. K-pop and Chill Safeway. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on who the best rapper is, and yeah, goodbye.
보답이 너네 모두 껴주시오. 한국말로 하자니요 색하네요. 스타일도 바꿨지 이제 내랑 비교 마시오. 나한테 내서 이런 거 처음 해보지요. 영어 빼고 말해 내 피부 노란색 그래 앞에 번호 8이잖아 빨리 전화해. 네가 아는 여자애들 싹 다 불러오는 밤은 불지를 거니까 폰을 꺼두기로 해.